certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
And welcome to another episode of Rankin. This is going to be a fun one today. We're doing Hugh Jackman movies, which apparently was popular. A lot of people knocking down my doors, wanting on, and yeah. But I've got Jacob Barber here. Jacob, how's it going?
It's going well, Malcolm. How are you doing? Nobody ever asks you how you're doing.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. Hugh Jackman, he's one of my favorite actors, so I'm happy to talk some Hugh Jackman movies and see what comes out on top.
Also, we've got Nick Hernandez. Nick, how's it going?
It's going well. I was shocked when you asked me to do this how many Hugh Jackman movies I haven't seen. So this is going to be fun. I did take most of today to catch up on that. So I've got suggestions. It's going to be fun. I've been pretty much hearing this guy's voice in my head for all day, and some would say that's not a bad trade-off. So,
and last but not least, we've got Eric Morano. Eric, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm here to nominate X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's all I'm here to do.
But with that, how Rankin works is each person is going to nominate a movie they think belongs on a top 12 list. And I might have an extra person.
Secret extra person. I think.
Well, no, this person literally just messaged me just then.
Say it's a cameo of sorts.
Pretty much.
How quiet. I dig your shelf, Jacob.
we're all holding our breath.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, while I'm waiting for the mystery person to turn up, how Rankin works is it each nominate a movie that belongs on a top 12 list. And introducing our secret mystery person, we've got JPO. JPO, how's it going?
Oh, woo.
Surprise! Snake, that Hugh Jackman. And I love huge jacked men. Get it?
Hell yeah, as you should.
It's a pun. I bought
Why
it.
didn't I think of that
figure
joke?
out how to open it.
No, it's all good. But and then everyone will say yes.
Throw it at the wall.
Yes, the option, and if we get the majority of yeses, it makes the list. But Jacob, we go to you first. What's the first movie you're going to bring up?
Yeah, so usually on this, I like to, go for movies. I want the champion, but this time I feel like I'm just going to run down my list and hope you guys agree with me. So
Fair enough.
I'm going to first bring up Prisoners. I think Prisoners is a fantastic movie. I think Hugh Jackman, this might be his favorite role of mine personally, playing this father who's trying to find his daughter, and the lengths he'll go to are just it's brutal at times. I think there's an awesome supporting cast around him: Paul Dano, Jake Gyllenhaal, Terrence Howard. I think everyone in this movie plays their part exceptionally. There's some good tension and just some good brutality. It's funny. It's not one that I would consider highly rewatchable. I could definitely rewatch this movie for the performances. I think they're all outstanding. So Prisoners will be my first nomination.
Nick, what do you say about Prisoners?
Fair enough. I have not seen it. I was wanting to check it out for this, but I just haven't been able to get to it. It's not in streaming or for anything that I have. So I would like to see it, but I haven't seen it. So I'm gonna unfortunately have to say no. Hopefully, I'm not the only one. So.
Eric, what do you say about Prisoners?
hopefully you're the only one who hasn't seen it because it totally should be in the list.
Yeah.
It's probably number one out of the
Fair enough.
his other prominent role, like Prisoners, his greatest movie. He should have been nominated for it. And how can you say no to Prisoners? Well, you can if you haven't seen it, but
You guys got my hopes up. I'm excited.
If you haven't seen any of the movies that are going to be mentioned, this is probably the one that you should see first. So
Yeah.
it's a total gift.
Trust me. It was the first one I looked for. So.
But JPO, what do you say about Prisoners?
I have to double check my letterbox, make sure I haven't left anything off the list, but I don't have to double check it for this round because it's an absolute yes. I know it deserves to be here. As Eric said, it might even be in the top tier. Yeah, no, this movie absolutely works. It's hard to watch at times here, but it just shows what a parent might go through if they're put to the ultimate, test. And Paul Dano's so good as maybe the bad guy, and everything is works well, even a good ending here. Go out of your way, Nick. Even if you got to buy a DVD copy, get to it when you can. Legit.
Fair enough.
And yeah, I'm not as high on Prisoners as everyone else is, but I do like the movie, and I still am going to say yes to it because I do think it's good. I think Hugh Jackman is equally as good in the movie. But Nick, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
So the first one I'm going to bring up, go ahead and talk about Les Mis, Les Miserables, for Hugh Jackman playing Jean Valjean. I just think that for the caliber of performer he is, this is the one movie that brings together all of his strengths as a triple threat, as the actor, singer, and dancer. So that's ultimately why it is number one on my personal list and why I'm going to go ahead and nominate it here.
Eric, what do you say about Les Mis?
I've never seen it, Les Mis, in full. I've seen like an hour of it, but what I saw I really liked, and I think Hugh Jackman was great in that hour or so. So I don't think I will say no. So I will say yes because he that's the stuff you like to see him do, like sing very close to the camera. But also he has great stuff when he meets what's the name of the daughter he adopts, whatever her name is. I think it's Cosette, something like that.
There you go.
That part of the movie, and he was great in it. So, and he was nominated. If he was nominated for a role, you got to put that in the ranking, I would say.
JPO, what do you say about Les Mis?
I guess we're even now, Nick, because I haven't seen this one. It just didn't scream totally for me here, and I've heard some semi-mixed reviews, although, as Eric said, this is his Oscar-nominated performance here, so I can see why he deserves to be on the list here. So, I mean, it's a no for me, but it sounds like it'll hopefully make it.
It's one of those ones like, personally, I do think there's a musical that he's better in that I'm probably going to bring up later. But that being said, I do really like Les Mis. I do think it's good. I think it gets a lot of hate as well. But that's mostly aimed at Russell Crowe, I think. But Les Mis is actually a pretty good movie. So I don't mind giving this a yes. So yeah. Jacob, what do you say about Les Mis?
This is on my list. I think, like Nick said, it's a triple threat. You get to see Hugh Jackman act, sing, and dance, and he does all three of those really well. I can understand why if you're not a fan of musicals, this one might turn you off a little bit because it's basically all singing, and I've heard some people complain, oh, there's too many songs in the movie, and I'm like, well, it's a musical, so you know kind of what you're going for. But even I can agree that I do like a little bit of dialogue in between, not just singing at the entire runtime. So it's a little lower down on my list, but it's still on my list. I think Hugh Jackman gives a really good performance, and shout out to Anne Hathaway. Like the 20 minutes that she's in the movie, oh, she is incredible. Deserved the best supporting actress win the year she got it. She's incredible. Her song.
That Les Mis is going to make the list. Eric, we go to you for your first nomination.
You know what movie has a lot of songs? Logan. Logan has a lot of songs. right? Might as well get it out of the way. Like Logan is
Fair
his
enough.
best individual performance is the character. Like even if you don't have the emotional connection to the 17 years he had played Wolverine by the time Logan came out, like the movie itself gets you super connected to the story, like the old man Logan, as you would, and his connection with Laura and all that. Like you all seen it, you know what it is. Logan, totally yes, please.
JP, what do you say about Logan?
Yeah, if it had gotten to me, this would have been what I would have nominated. Yeah, it's good. It shows what I think we need now in comic book movies too. Let's try to do something different here. First R-rated X-Men movie we got. You know, I mean, it's bloody. It's a bit of a downer even in a ways, but like in a beautiful way. So, and yeah, like literally potentially Oscar nominated performance here from Stewart to Jackman, all just really giving good performances here. So yeah.
Yeah, and I meant to say this at the start of the show, but yeah, I did say in the group chat. I know JPO probably doesn't know this. We are limiting X-Men movies to only 3 for this list, just because a big chunk of his career is the X-Men movies. So
I agree. I would have done that. I would have voted that way anyway. So that's cool.
You know, I just want to get it out of the way.
Good to know.
But yeah, Logan is great. Like, it's definitely an enjoyable thing, and yeah, it's one of those ones that, like, for the longest time, before it was going to be the last time Hugh Jackman was going to be playing Wolverine, until recently. But yeah, Logan gets a yes for me. Jacob, what do you say about Logan?
I don't know. We're limiting it to 3 X-Men movies. I don't know if Logan really. No, Logan is fantastic. I think Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart are incredible. Daphne Keane is really good. Also, it's bloody, it's brutal, and yeah, Oscar-worthy performances from both of them. Great screenplay. It did get the nomination for adapted, so well deserved there too. Yeah, wonderfully directed. Yeah, and it was a just really good movie. I'm not a big fan. This is just a side. I'm not a big fan of the black and white version, but I don't know why they. I don't know. The black and white didn't work for me, but that non-black and white version, fantastic. It's a easy yes for me.
Nick, what do you say about Logan?
So we're going to my number 2 on my personal list. I love this movie. I think it's absolutely perfect. You cannot have a list like this without Logan. And if you're going to choose one of the X-Men movies to nominate, it's going to be this one. So absolutely.
But that Logan is going to make the list. And JPO, we go to you for your first nomination.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to. We had Denis Villeneuve. Let's go to another just fantastic director that he's worked with you just once so far. Christopher Nolan, The Prestige. I love this movie from the first viewing in the theater to multiple DVD reviewings. Him and Christian Bale. I mean, come on, Batman, Wolverine. They're magicians. What more do you need? The end.
Wow, the Black Widow.
Black Widow's in there.
That's fair. Michael Caine's in there. Yeah.
Chick from Coyote Ugly's in it.
Ulysses Claus in there as well. Andy Serkis.
He was in Labyrinth. Yeah, come on.
But yeah, when it comes to Nolan, I'm quite hit or miss on his movies. Like, Prestige is one of those ones that I like, but I'm not in the camp of really loving it as much as other people are. I will give it a slight yes for this though, because I do think Hugh Jackman is great in the movie. And yeah, but Jacob, what do you say about The Prestige?
Yeah, this is another yes from me. We're going right down my list, and I love it. I haven't had to do any of those. So yeah, like JPO said, working with Christopher Nolan, I think it's not one of those Nolan movies that you have to like really think about. I mean, there's a few things here and there that's like, oh, okay, cool. But I think, Hugh Jackman gives a fantastic performance. Christian Bale, Scarlett Johansson, everyone involved is doing a great job. And I feel like it's one of those Hugh Jackman movies that doesn't get talked about enough. He's got he's got his musicals that people talk about. He's obviously Wolverine, but I think the Prestige is really good, and I think more people should love this movie, Malcolm.
Nick, what do you say about the Prestige?
So like Jacob said, we're just going right down my list. This is my number 3. The Prestige, kind of an underrated Nolan pick, if I'm being honest. Not his most underrated. I've seen his most underrated. But I do think this movie's fantastic. You do need the movie's focused on the rivalry between Christian Bale's character and Hugh Jackman, and so Hugh Jackman is a big part of the movie. And so if he falters in any way, the whole movie kind of falls apart. So absolutely, you got to add the Prestige.
And Eric, what do you say about the Prestige?
Yeah, you gotta get the prestigious pick on this ranking of Hugh Jackman movies. Like, I think Christian Bale is more recognized as a fantastic actor than Hugh Jackman is, but they're totally even in this movie. Like, they're fantastic. As Nick already said it better. Like, if one is lesser than the other, the movie doesn't work as well. But they are equally great in it. So you gotta have the Prestige. He should work again with Christopher Nolan. Hopefully, he gets to play. I don't know, a time traveler or something like that. Something like that Nolan likes.
Honestly, with the amount of people that Nolan crammed into Oppenheimer, I'm surprised Hugh Jackman wasn't there for a small part.
He was out of the budget.
But with that, I don't know how this is going to go because I don't know how many people actually saw it. But I actually recently watched this for the first time for this. But I'm going to bring up this the sequel to Florian Zeller's The Father. Basically, Hugh Jackman plays this father whose kid is very troubled and has definitely got a whole lot of dramatic themes, and his ex-wife is Laura Dern, and it's a kind of a weird thing, but I don't know because I know this is based on a play as well. I don't know if it's that, but his father is Anthony Hopkins' character from the father in the movie, which but I think Hugh Jackman is great, and this is one of those ones I would argue Hugh Jackman probably should have been nominated for an Oscar for this. I think he does a really good job, especially with how deep these themes of suicide and all that goes. It's definitely not an easy watch at all, but it's still a great movie. But Jacob, what do you say about The Son?
Yeah, there's a few Hugh Jackman blind spots, and The Son is one of them. So I'll have to abstain from this one.
Nick, what do you say about The Son?
Big same for me. I've never heard of this movie. I've heard of The Father, but I've never heard of The Son. And so it's kind of hard for me to be like, I can defend it all. Oh, look at that. It's a real movie. Hooray. So unfortunately, I haven't seen it. I didn't even even on the IMDb listed it. I couldn't find that one. So I guess it's a newer one, maybe. I don't know. But I'm gonna have to say no on that one. Oh, okay.
Eric, what do you say about The Son?
Yeah, I know it's a real movie. I've heard of it, but I didn't see it. Sorry, Malcolm. I heard it was not as good as The Father, so that's why I didn't see it. So that's kind of a no. Hopefully it's good. I will check it out.
I mean, it's not it's still good. It's one of those but JPO, what would you have said about The Son?
Man, people sign up and they don't even see things. I haven't seen this one. I started it one night and then fell asleep. Maybe not a knock to the movie, just that's what I do. I sleep, and meant to go back to it, and then I canceled Netflix. I do want to see it though. I like what I saw from Hugh, but not enough to vote anything but a no at the moment.
About to say, didn't you just say that to the Les Mis?
I never started this.
But Jacob, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Yeah, we'll go. We have one musical on the list. I'll shoot my shot for another. The Greatest Showman. I think The Greatest Showman is just a lot of fun. Whether it's historically accurate or not, I think the movie we got is a lot of fun. I think the music is fantastic. We got some pretty catchy songs here. Uh, Everyone involved is doing their best. It was like a big pop culture moment. Like it was everywhere. I mean, they even they reimagined the songs with popular artists and those. Well, I don't think they're as good as the movie versions. I still think it's pretty good. I've seen some behind the scenes, and Hugh Jackman was pretty passionate about this, and I think it translates on the screen as well. So, yeah, there was like a video going around. It was the final song. They were like testing it out, and there was like something. He had something going on. Like he wasn't supposed to sing, and like he just couldn't help it. Like he started singing the last song, and whatever was wrong with him, he made it worse. So I think that just shows the love that he had for this project, and I think it translates on the screen. So The Greatest Showman will be my next nomination.
Nick, what do you say about The Greatest Showman?
So this is a movie I hadn't watched until today, and I will say out of the movies that I watched today, this was probably the one I had the best time with. It is just like so entertaining, and the music is fantastic, and the movie has a great soundtrack. I can definitely see why this movie broke box office records, because like even as I'm talking about it right now, I do want to listen to that soundtrack again and again, and I could do that for hours, honestly. I think that Hugh Jackman in this movie, it kind of reminded me of Jack Black in School of Rock, where he doesn't play a good person, but his passion for the project is so infectious that you just kind of latch onto it and be like, yeah, this is awesome. So absolutely, I'm going to say yes to this. So just a really great time. We'll see where it ranks, but it absolutely does, I think, deserve to be on this list.
Eric, what do you say about The Greatest Showman?
I'm a big musical fan, but I'm not the biggest The Greatest Showman fan. But I think for what the music works for me very well. Like, if not the movie itself, the live version they do of "This Is Me," where they are recording the song, works much better for me overall. Like where they're singing live, and you can see the main singer of that song get teary-eyed when she's singing. That always gets me, even if I don't rewatch the movie that much. But you can tell Hugh Jackman really likes the role, and he's let him do a Wolverine musical. That would be great. Let him do that. I would say yes, because he get if not the movie doesn't work overall for me, but I think he's really good in it, and it reminds me more of like Michael Keaton in The Founder. Like that's the one I would say is not a really good person, but it gets you on charisma alone. And I think
that's a good point. Yeah.
And yeah, it's a slight yes. I probably wouldn't rank it super high, but it would be in my top 12 performances of him. So it's a yes.
JBO, what do you say about The Greatest Showman?
I'll start off the opposite of Eric. I'm not the biggest musical guy, but this one relatively worked for me here. I enjoy the songs, the spirit, and yeah, it's in my list, so I'm gonna say yes. I like it.
Yeah, no, I love The Greatest Showman. I think it's great, and yeah, it's one of those ones like I don't think this would be as popular if this was historically accurate, because no one wants to watch a musical about this horrible guy. But yeah, it's one of those ones like I don't really watch movies for historical accuracy. I watch them because they look like great movies. That's what Greatest Showman is. It's a yes for me. But that Nick, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
So yeah, just going down my list here, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the one of the other X-Men movies, and that is X-Men: Days of Future Past. I think that this movie is fantastic. I went to go see it in theaters after binging on incredibly spicy wings and waterlogging myself on iced tea. And I was in incredible agony right before the movie started. So that's my big story about that, because the movie is so good that it made me forget about all of my pain until I left the theater. So gonna recommend Days of Future Past. Hugh Jackman, huge part of that movie. He gets to play a little bit of an older Wolverine, and he takes more of a center stage in this one. So I'm gonna nominate that one, X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Eric, what do you say about X-Men: Days of Future Past?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that we are limited to 3 X-Men movies when the top 2 is very easily determined. I would say in between Logan and Days of Future Past. So I would say yes. I when the Avengers came up, I didn't really care for the Avengers that much when it came up. But when X-Men: Days of Future Past, this is my Avengers. I said to whoever I came with me to the theater. This was the universe I was more invested at the time, and I don't think that's his best group performance in the X-Men movies, but I think it's the best overall X-Men movie that's not Logan, probably. So it's a yes.
Yeah.
JPO, what do you say about X-Men: Days of Future Past?
Yeah, no, this is on my list too for both you and then also for the X-Men qualification here. I enjoy what they were able to do here. You know what I mean? We were able to get a little bit more of our OG cast and some of the new G cast. New G, yeah, no, sure, that sounds right. And no, that they made a really good film here. It's a little more talking than action, but to a degree, I actually really like that. I like that it's really just a good story on top of some decent action pieces.
X-Men Days of Future Past would have been probably the next one I brought up if it got back around to me. But yeah, I think it's great, and it's like outside of the like Wolverine centric movies, this is probably my favorite X-Men movie. So it's a yes for me. Jacob, what do you say about X-Men Days of Future Past?
What everyone else said, yes.
With that, Eric, it's going to make the list. Eric, we go back to you for your next nomination.
Yeah, he has a couple of animated movies. I'll bring up the one I like the best out of them, and it's Rise of the Guardians. I don't think he outshines the rest of the cast. He complements all the rest of the actors, and I'm trying to remember. Alec Baldwin is there, Isla Fisher, and then he plays the Easter Bunny. And he's kind of ruthless for what you expect for Easter Bunny, but he's really good in the role. He complements who plays Jack Frost. I don't remember. I think Chris Pine.
It's Chris Pine, yeah.
Chris, that's all I remember.
Yeah, it's a Chris. And yeah, Hugh Jackman is great in it. Out of the bunch we have of the animated voice roles he has, I think that's his best one. So I will nominate Rise of the Guardians.
JPO, what do you say about Rise of the Guardians?
There's one animated movie I might say yes to. Unfortunately, it's not this one here. I don't know if the animation style just kind of threw me off. That's one I had never gotten to, so I haven't seen it, unfortunately.
I think Rise of the Guardians is a very underrated DreamWorks movie. But I think it's pretty good. And it's definitely pretty solid. I haven't seen it in a while. I was going to rewatch it. Well, this just didn't have the time. But Jacob, what do you say about Rise of the Guardians?
Yeah, it's also been a minute since I've seen it, but I have seen it several times. Yeah, I think the voice cast is really good here. Shout out to Jude Law's Pitch Black. I tried to get him on I think I tried to get him on the DreamWorks voice actors list, and nobody else was going along with me. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm not bitter. But I think Hugh Jackman is giving a really good voice performance here. I get what JPO is saying about the animation style. I kind of dig it, but I do see the criticism there. I still think this is an enjoyable one with a really fun cast of characters. So I'll give it a yes. There's actually a couple of animated movies I'd say yes to, and this is one of them.
And Nick, what do you say about Rise of the Guardians?
So haven't seen it. This is one that has been on my list for a while. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But everybody that has seen this movie swears by it that it's a great pick. So I'm gonna say yes, just tentatively. Out of the animated movies, this is probably maybe the one that I would choose. He doesn't have a huge wide net of filmography, does Hugh Jackman, but I think this is the one that I hear the most positive about, except for the other one that I disagree with, but we'll probably get to that.
Got
but
over
if that
30
wa-
films to choose from.
but if that was the Guardians is going to make the list, and we go back to JPO, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
So I'm going to attempt, I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll see. I'm going to attempt to close the X-Men gap here. But I'm not going with the most recent one. I'm going X2. I'm going X-Men United. I want to sleep a little bit more on Deadpool and Wolverine. Plus, also too, I've always loved X2. I think it takes the first one and amplifies that much better. I think Bryan Singer is a better director at this point, so the action works, and the core story itself too, which is centered around Wolverine too. Don't forget a lot more stuff with him and Brian Cox, who's such a good villain, even though he's not even the villain that does any of the action, but he's such a good evil striker. Such a good film. Ends with the big cliffhanger of maybe Jean Grey turning into Phoenix here. You're so pumped after that movie ends. Him, Wolverine come back to save all the kids from the school. It's just a really good action film. It's one of my favorite films out there. So the Champion X-Men 2. We'll see. Shoot my shot on that.
I think X2 is great. And yeah, it's one of those ones that it's slightly tricky for me because I'll give a tentative yes to X2 because I do like it. And yeah, Jacob, what do you say about X2?
Yeah, it's a good thing we put a cap at 3 because there's actually 5 X-Men movies in my top 12 for Hugh Jackman. Yeah, and
Nice.
Deadpool and Wolverine is actually one that did crack the top 10. However, X2 is still above it. Actually, I go back and forth between this and Days of Future Past as to which one is my favorite X-Men movie outside of Logan.
I agree.
So, yeah, I think this one is really good. I think there's a lot of good action here. Hugh Jackman is fantastic as always as Wolverine. Even in the not so good X-Men movies, I think Hugh Jackman is still giving a pretty solid performance. So, yeah, I'll give X2 a yes.
Nick, what do you say about X2?
I completely agree with everything that JPO said about this movie. It is the last X-Men movie that I have on my list, and so I'm going to say yes. There's nothing for me to add.
And Eric, what do you say about X2?
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about, where I think even I like a little bit better Days of Future Past. I think he's much better in X-Men 2. I really like his role as the babysitter of the other teenage X-Men. I really like the action scene that JPO mentioned when he saves the kids. And I had forgotten about the Brian Cox thing, but he's really good bouncing out of him. And I really like the scene where the Iceman frees up his beer. I think that's really funny. Wolverine using your powers, seeing the mutant and all that, but mostly Iceman. So yeah, I'm really glad X2 is as much love in this panel. So it's a big yes for me.
So that X2 is going to make this and close out the X-Men movie. So sorry, X-Men Origins Wolverines fans, it's not going to make the list.
That's the third. That's third. That's the other one.
I put a vouch for the Wolverine because he's good in it, but I like X2.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones with the Wolverine. There is a lot of people out there that I do know that actually like it. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah. I like 2/3 of the movie. Really good. And then
anyway,
that's good. That's good later.
Yeah. But anyway, it's back around to me, and I'm going to try for this one once again, just like the Sun. I don't know how many people are familiar with this or know what this is, but I'm talking about the Front Runner. This is I think it was 2018. But it's about this politician called Gary Hart, and who kind of gets caught up in all of these kind of allegations and stuff that come out and all that, and it's another one that I actually found to watch for this, and I think Hugh Jackman is great as this politician, just the way he sort of reacts when all these allegations come up, and especially a scene where he's kind of talking to these reporters and just saying nothing, but they're trying to make something out of nothing, and as reporters do, And I just think he's great in it, and it's another one that I think he probably like. There's that. I think there's definitely an argument to be had that he could have been nominated for an Oscar for it as well. But Jacob, what do you say about the front runner?
Yeah, this was a tricky one for me to rank because I do think Hugh Jackman is really good in the movie, but I think the story around Hugh Jackman, like it just wasn't doing it for me. Like I'm still overall positive on the movie. There's actually very few of his movies that I've seen that I'm negative on. But yeah, this is I've seen it the one time. I haven't felt inclined to go back and rewatch it. So while I do think it's a good movie, for me it was fine. So I'll give it a no, but I appreciate the pick. I think people should see it at least once. It's good.
Nick, what do you say about the front runner?
So this is another one that I just have not seen or even heard of. I did see it on the IMDb list. I just didn't get around to it. So I'm gonna have to say no on that one. Just there's a few movies that I still have left on my list that I'm going to try to shoot for. So I'm gonna say no on this one.
Eric, what do you say about the front runner?
Yeah, much like the other movie, I think Malcolm brought up. This is one I've heard of. I wanted to see. I haven't seen it. It's a no for me.
JPO, what do you say about the front runner?
So this is one of those sad things in Rankum where, I would have said yes, but then other things that I didn't have on my list came in. So now I gotta say no because I do have things now with what's included a little bit higher than it. But yeah, it's a good pick. It's a good nomination too because he is kind of outside of a lot of other roles. He's just a dude. He's a dude, into this political race that is forced on these issues, and it's a really good performance though. So I'm glad
It does have a good cast too.
Yeah, I mean Bill Burr's even in it. Yeah, no, it's a good film. Like I said, I had it in my 12, but
but with that, front runner is not going to run onto the list. We go to Jacob next. What is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes because I think I'm a little bit higher on this movie than most people. This was actually a recent first time watching. I absolutely love this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm gonna try for Real Steel. I thought Real Steel was a really fun, robot boxing movie. I think Hugh Jackman. I think the character that he plays. I really enjoyed him. Playing this father who, unites with his son, and they go on this this journey with this fighting robot, and they kind of bond over it, and you kind of see him grow as a father and a person. And I really like the growth of his character. I think there's some really cool robot fighting scenes in this movie. I thought it was a fun time. It's one of those movies I think I can just turn my brain off, and just have a good time for 2 hours. So yeah, I kind of like movies like that every once in a while. So let's see how it goes for Real Steel.
Nick, what do you say about Real Steel?
So this is one I haven't seen, but I do want to see it. Me and my brother, we call it the Rock'em Sock'em movie, but we haven't gotten around to it. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say no on this one. It's a slight no. Probably would be on my list if I'd have seen it, but I haven't, so no.
Eric, what do you say about Real Steel?
I haven't seen this one since it came out probably, but I remember really liking it. Like I think it's I think it's Sean Levi's best movie besides probably his most recent one. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's really funny that he was playing a retired fighter like 10 years ago, and he's still playing the retired person. I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah, like not every movie in the ranking should be like the prestigious one of the best one, but it's a good one to have in the second half of your rank. So I'll say yes.
JPO, what do you say about Real Steel?
Well, I had it in my 12, and I still have it in my 12 because I like this movie. This movie, and I know what Nicholas is saying. Like that was kind of like the trailers was just kind of okay, I feel, and like the Rock'em Sock'em Robot reference, but it finds the right amount of, again, heart with the kid, and I mean, even a little cliche, but it holds you, it hangs you on, to the very end. It's fun along the way here, and no, it's a dope one here too. And even like afterwards, like there's even talks of like a sequel, which at the time I would have been down for. Probably too late now, but although the universe could always be revisited. But yeah, no, it's a yes for me. It's a good fun flick.
I completely forgot this was a Sean Levi movie.
Probably might not. Well, I guess we probably would have pissed Ryan Reynolds, but like, yeah, kind of another lead into Deadpool Wolverine because he worked with Wolverine before.
Oh yeah, no, I think that was part of the reason why I forgot this was a Sean Levy movie. Because for some reason I thought Sean Levy, Hugh Jackman had never worked either before. Well, technically, Night at Museum for that short cameo.
Oh, 3, yeah.
But yeah, no, I do like Real Steel. Eric, did you say yes or no?
I said yes.
I think it's all yeses.
Okay, I that's all good. I'm not gonna feel like so much of a dick. Yeah, I do like Real Steel. And it's just one of those ones like there's not really a Hugh Jackman movie that I don't like. I like because I even like X-Men Origins Wolverine to an extent as well. Like, but
It's got some good stuff in it, yeah.
But yes, so I was going to give a slight no to Real Steel, but it's going to make the list anyway. And we go over to Nick for the next time.
That felt spiteful.
So this is one that I just watched today, but I'm going with Eddie the Eagle. I think that this is Hugh Jackman basically playing Wolverine, except without the superpowers. And he's great as Wolverine, and he's great in this movie. So absolutely. Even though this is not technically his film, this is more of a biopic for Eddie Edwards. But I do think that Jackman does play a huge role in this, and he's fantastic. So Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah, did you know it's based on the TNA Tag Team Champion Eddie Edwards, Art?
I had no
I was going
idea.
to say that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know he was a skier first.
Eric, what do you say?
Does he turn into a werewolf later in the movie? Like most recently?
Next time we do a bad draft, Jacob, can I draft just werewolf Eddie Edwards? Is that allowed? Never wrestled, but he appeared.
Like, who was the one who was his wife decapitated in the same match, right?
Yeah, they kill Alicia Edwards.
Oh, yeah, Alicia Edwards. That's the name. I haven't seen it. I really want to see it. Like, I've heard good things. Like, that's the main reason why I've heard a lot of what's his name, Taron Egerton's. The people want him to be the Wolverine because he has a good rapport with Hugh Jackman. I'll say no, but I really, yeah, also that, and he's the right height to be Wolverine, like a comic accurate Wolverine, as they say. I'll say no because I haven't seen it, but I really want to see it. Like, it's one that I always keep missing out on watching.
JPO, what do you say about Eddie the Eagle?
This would have been my next nomination here. I've always really had a soft spot for this movie here. This movie wears its heart on its sleeve, but it works here. It's a little cliched again, kind of like Real Steel, but man, when you have good actors and a good script, it doesn't matter because, again, you are invested in these people. You're invested in this kid that has a dream, and his entire family is even like, dude, stop it. You're Eddie. You're a simple Eddie. You're like, you're not gonna do it. And you root for him all along here. Hugh Jackman's great as again, kind of the curmudgeon-y, almost retired coach, right? Like, again, on his way out. So this movie is charming as all heck. So it's a big yes.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones, like, I was almost going to put onto the poll, like, movies set around the Olympics, which this probably would have also made the list. Because the Olympics did start the other day, and yeah, I do like Eddie the Eagle. I think it's great, and yeah, so it's an easy yes for me as well. Jacob, what do you say about Eddie the Eagle?
Yeah, there were about 5 movies fighting for those 11 and 12 spots for me, and I said I'm just gonna put them down, and then whatever gets brought up first, I'll say yes to. And Eddie the Eagle was one of them. I think, yeah, Taron Egerton and Hugh Jackman are pretty great together. I'd like to see them do some more together. I'd like to see them team up some more. So Yeah, I haven't rewatched it in a while, so I don't. I'm not gonna say can't say much, but I do remember really enjoying it. And yeah, I'll give it a yes.
Maybe they'll throw Hugh Jackman into that Little Shop of Horrors remake that they're doing.
Let him be
That
the
Taron
voice.
Egerton has been cast in.
Let him be the voice of
There's several
Audrey too.
cameos possibilities. So
Yeah. Speaking of one, I'm surprised they didn't try to find a way to fit a cameo of the Cool Runnings team, and this does take place in at the same Olympics as Cool Runnings.
They do mention them. They do mention they do mention the bobsled team from Jamaica.
dude, that would have been great though. All those guys are alive except for obviously Candy. That'd have been great if they had like just one scene. It's like, oh hey guys.
Yeah. But if that Eddie the Eagle is going to make the list, and Eric, we go to you for your next nomination. We've got 2 spots left.
And you can hear. Oh no, hold up.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, that's cool. Can you see me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I'll go for the other animated movie I really like of his. Like, I'll go for Flush Away. I think it's very funny to see him as a straight man role, like kind of the one who's really overwhelmed by the situation he's in, like a house rat that's going to the sewers. And I think he has really good chemistry with Kate Winslet as the other rat. I think it's a lot of fun. I wouldn't expect it to make it to the list, but I think he's other really good voice role, I would say. I think there's other movies that are more well-known, but I like Flush Away better. So let's go for Flush Away.
JPO, what do you say about Flushed Away?
I enjoyed Hugh Jackman one time in an interview. He said he did this movie because he wanted his kids to have like a toy of his, because all the multiple toys would poke them in the eyes, so he couldn't give them to his young kids. So he got this so he could have like a plush to give to his kid. That's one big reason he did this movie. But with that being said, it was on the list, but it has been one that has been knocked off due to other things. I do enjoy this one. It's a very cute, fun world that they have, but yeah, I have other things I want to champion on these last couple spots.
Yeah, I'm just not. Country Rise said earlier about there's not a lot of Hugh Jackman movies I don't like. Flush Away is one of the only movie that I really don't go back to at all, and I'm not a fan of Flushed Away. Like, it's just one of those kids movies that just doesn't work for me. So it's a no for me. Jacob, what do you say about Flushed Away?
So this was not the other animated movie that I was like a definite yes for, but it was one of those 5 that were like battling for those last 2 spots. I do think Hugh Jackman's given a pretty solid voice performance here. I think it's a fun movie, and so yeah, I'll give it a yes. It's toward the bottom of the list, but I still think it's a pretty good voice performance.
Nick, what do you say about Flushed Away?
So this is a movie I just watched, just kind of as a refresher. I remember seeing it when it came out, but I do not remember much about it other than Ian McKellen was in the movie. But watching it again, it's actually very, very just a fun movie. There's a lot of like quick blink and you miss it jokes that are just kind of peppered throughout that really kept my attention. So it's not as forgettable as I thought it was. Now I'm wondering, because like there's only one of these movies that I've seen that I would say no to as far as Jackman is concerned, but I do have 2 on my list that I think are better than this movie, so just a slight no from me. We'll see if it comes up.
Fortunately, Flushed Away is not going to make the list.
It was flushed away, as you would say.
JPO, what's the next movie going to bring up?
I'm gonna go for Bad Education, and not the Gail Garcia from that one. The other one, the one with Hugh Jackman. Yeah, he's a superintendent who, kind of an okay guy. Like, people love him on the surface here, but at the end of the day, he goes for an embezzlement scam to just better his life, and I believe the other person along Allison Janney as well. And this one does, again, fun, kind of true to life stories. I believe this might even be an HBO movie, and but he's so good in it as just kind of like again, kind of looking out for himself here, guy who's trying to cover up these lies, and a really good, again, different kind of performance from Hugh that we get in a lot of other things. He's a naughty.
He's a bad guy.
He's not good.
Yeah. I love bad. I love bad education. It's a pretty good movie. And yeah, it's just one of those ones that you expect it to go one way and then it flip, but yeah. So it's going to be yes for me for bad education. Jacob, what to say about bad education?
Another one that's in that 5, battling for those final 2 spots. So I'll give it a yes. Yeah, I think Hugh Jackman is giving a really solid performance here. Allison Janney, I think, is really great. I'm intrigued by the story. It kept my attention the entire time, and yeah, shout out to Rafael Casal as well from one of my favorite movies, Blind Spotting. I think he was also really good in the movie. So yeah, it's a yes for me.
Nick, what do you say about bad education?
I have not seen this movie, but I like Hugh Jackman. I like Allison Janney as actors, so I probably would really enjoy it if I'd have seen it. But I'm going to go ahead and say no on this one.
You would.
And
On
Eric,
HBO.
what do you say about bad education?
Yeah, I would say yes for this one. We need to get. I really like when a charismatic actor like Hugh Jackman gets to play like a not sort of a like a not that good of a person. So it's always good when they use that energy for that. It's a great cast. I would recommend 2004's Bad Education, the Spanish one with Garcia Bernal. It's a really good movie too. But for to represent both of them, yes for Bad Education. Even if
Bad
one doesn't have
Education.
Hugh Jackman.
That bad education is going to make the list. And it comes back to me, and so I'm in a bind here because I don't know if I should bring up the one that everyone in the world expects me to bring up because of a running joke in this community, or if I'll just bring up another one that I don't know if will make the list either way, but it's one that I do like more than most. I'm not going to go for the meme of bringing up movie 43. I'm going to go. I'm going to bring
You
up.
did give a really ballsy performance, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We can go home.
You can get straight to you with the chuckle hat.
Jamie, we didn't mean you had to go home. You can come back. But yeah, no. I'm going to bring up Van Helsing. Now, I don't know how this is going to go, but I do think Hugh Jackman was great in the movie, and this is one of those movies that I do actually really enjoy more than most. Like, I don't think it's as bad as what people say, and I just have a lot of fun with it. Because just seeing all the like Hugh Jackman is this kind of monster hunter, Van Helsing, just seeing like the real and Dracula and all that. And I just think it's a really fun, interesting movie. So I'm going to bring up Van Helsing, see how this goes. But Jacob, what do you say about Van Helsing?
Yeah, another blind spot of Hugh Jackman's for me. So yeah, I bought it recently, wanting to watch it, and now I can't find it. So it's here somewhere.
Damn.
You have a problem. This is actually not even recommended. This is an intervention of your Blu-ray buying habits.
Nick, what do you say about Van Helsing?
So yeah, this is one that I was going to bring up next, but I do love this movie. I watched it religiously as a kid. I think this was like his Hugh Jackman's first big movie outside of X-Men, and I think he totally killed it. I do think this movie deserved like a sequel and a franchise, and it just unfortunately didn't get it because I do. It's a lot of fun, this movie, and I can't gush about it enough, so it's going to get a yes from me.
It did get a kind of sequel. There was this animated.
I found it.
There was a Van Helsing animated short that Hugh Jackman did the voice for, but
Ooh, nice.
But
I also remember the Xbox game, which is how old that movie is. The original Xbox game.
But Eric, what do you say about Van Helsing?
Part of me wants to say yes because it will be the easiest 12 place to give. Like it would bring us home easier. Like I think it's a lot of fun. I haven't seen it in a while. I remember like it's not super great or anything, but I would say no just to see what else comes up in the list if it doesn't make it.
But JPO, what do you say about Van Helsing?
So, a brief history of me and Hugh Jackman. I was a huge X-Men fan, so I was so excited when X-Men came out, but I was like, they better not fuck up Wolverine, I swear. And then, who's this Hugh guy? I've never even heard of him, but he owned it, he rocked it, so he became my boy instantly. And I was so excited for Van Helsing. It's the first action movie he's done outside of X-Men. There's swordfish, but there was boobies, so my parents let me see it. It was the first action movie that I was allowed to see with Hugh Jackman. So I do have some love and nostalgia for it. I enjoyed it in theaters. It's one I did revisit a little bit on home media, but it's not quite on the list here. I think overall it's kind of fallen through the years here, so it's a slight note for me. But I did see Swordfish later. A wink.
If that Van Helsing isn't going to make the list, Jacob, we go to you next. What is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Yeah, so there's one more animated movie that I hope makes the list, but we'll see. Missing Link. I think Missing Link is a lot of fun. Hugh Jackman playing the sort of explorer. He finds the Missing Link, voiced by Zach Galifianakis. I think he's doing a fantastic job as well. I know this was a big surprise when it won. It didn't win the Oscar, but it did win Golden Globe, and I remember people were like absolutely shocked that it won over Toy Story 4. But I think it was well deserved. I love stop motion. It's the animation style. I think that I am starting to love the most, and I think it's really good here. I think the story is a lot of fun. Good voice performances. So I'll shoot my shot for Missing Link.
Nick, what do you say about Missing Link?
Missing Link absolutely deserves any award over Toy Story 4. This is the one that I was thinking about as far as like Hugh Jackman performances. This is kind of against type for him because he's not only is he playing like a sophisticated character, but it's more of a suave character. And I love his snappy comebacks and his chemistry with Susan in the movie is fantastic. So I do really like this movie. I think it's better than Flushed Away in terms of like the performance. So that's why I'm going to give this one the nod over Flushed Away.
Eric, I don't know if you can hear us, but
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. My camera is having issues. That's why I got disconnected, and then But out of the remaining probably 2 animated movies, I'm really glad this is the one brought up. This is probably the 4-star movie I have that I remember the least, but I remember really liking it at the time. That's why I gave it 4 stars. Like I really think so. It's Zach Galifianakis show mostly, or movie as you would say. I think Hugh Jackman is a lot of fun in this one. He has a great animation style. I think is it Leica or is it? I think it's one of those.
It's Leica, yeah.
I would say yes. It's a lot of fun. I recommend.
JPO, what do you say about Missing Link?
I feel like I haven't seen it. I meant to. My niece went, so I was definitely going to at one point, and I don't know what happened. Maybe I had to work or whatever. So I'm not seeing it then, so I just never kind of got to it. But it sounds like it might be good, but I haven't seen it yet. I heard good things.
Yeah.
It's on Tubi.
Yeah, really.
It is on Tubi for free, yeah.
Not over here, unfortunately. But I have seen it though. I actually rewatched it just before we went live as well. It is a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to make the list anyway because it's already got 3 yeses. I would have given it a slight no, but just because there's a couple above it that I would have put up first. I would have put up, but that Missing Link is going to close out the list. But Nick, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
So I only had one that didn't get brought up, and it is the one that I don't like, but I did watch it, so it's on the list here. Is Happy Feet. I do. I don't. The movie it was so ungodly boring, and between that and Surf's Up, I just enjoyed Surf's Up a lot more. So yeah, that's what I have to say about Happy Feet.
That is the right choice.
But Eric, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Yeah, I'm very happy to jump on the Happy Feet hate train. I'm much of a Surf's Up guy. I think Happy Feet, weird Oscar pick for that year. I think it's even as a kid, I thought it was very ugly looking. The message is all muddled. Like the whole musical and environmental stuff kind of doesn't work for me. Even if I'm a big George Miller fan, like that doesn't work for me, brother. Other movies that I could see people bringing up The Fountain. I haven't seen it, so that's why I didn't bring it up. I heard it's good. It's fine. I'm glad Chappie wasn't mentioned. And I wish Kate and Leopold could get some love. I think Hugh Jackman should get in more romantic comedies and all that. I know why it wasn't brought up, but still, that's it.
He does really good with romances, for sure.
Yeah.
JPO, what do you say? What do you have honorable mentions?
Yeah, some loose recommendations. Yeah, Kate and Leopold's cute. Butter is a good one here. He's kind of more of a B guy. He's kind of more of a co-star, but that's a really kind of cool, unique one. Reminiscence, I didn't mind. I thought there's a lot of like good going on, whether the good does outweigh the bad. And yeah, Swordfish has a couple moments. I don't mean that in a dirty way. It sounds dirty in retrospect, but I mean that in a normal way. And the one I really would have recommended, the one that I would have said next, that is in my legit 12, is The Fountain. I think Aronofsky made a really trippy, hugely stunning visual, jumps all over different generations here. I think Hugh Jackman gives it his all, and yeah, it has I think it can be a bit messy at points as well, but I think the beauty does outweigh it. It's a really good flick.
And yeah, for me, like talking about rom-coms, I actually really enjoyed the rom-com Someone Like You with Ashley Judd, Greg Kinnear, Marissa Tomei, and all that. I think it's good. I would have brought up Swordfish eventually. I think Swordfish is great. There's and yeah, like Kane Leopold was just a little bit too low outside of the list of where I was going to be sort of saying yes in that. And I do think Hugh Jackman is great in the movie Scoop. But Jacob, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Yeah, if we if we didn't have the three X-Men movies that we do, I would have brought up obviously Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought was fantastic, and the first X-Men. But I think we got the right three.
Yeah. My brother was arguing with me that X-Men was better than X2, and I just couldn't get on board with him on that.
Like most things, your brother's wrong.
also show some love to Kate and Leopold and Someone Like You. They were part of those five battling for those last two spots. I think they're some pretty good rom-coms. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, do another rom-com, Hugh. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some that mentioned in the chat that didn't come up, although some that I don't think would come up anyway. There's a movie called Deception, which I didn't
like it. Yeah, him and Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and look,
two good actors, I'll say.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
I like this movie more than most, but I do not think Pan was ever going to make this list.
Although, like, maybe he's got a few that I don't love because, like, it's actually would have been one of my next ones.
I think he's good in the movie, but
yeah,
I think it's fine. The movie doesn't work for me at all.
But with that, it's time to rank these. Just to recap what is on the list, we've got Prisoners, Les Mis, Logan, Prestige, The Greatest Showman, X-Men Days of Future Past, Rise of the Guardians, X2, Real Steel, Eddie the Eagle, Bad Education, and Missing Link. Jacob, what do you have for 12?
Bad Education.
Nick, what do you have for number 12?
I also have Bad Education.
Eric, what do you have for number 12?
I had him. Hold up. Yeah, would be. I would say Eddie the Eagle, because I haven't seen it.
JPO, what do you have for 12? And for me, I would have gone Real Steel, but Bad Education is going to be at 12.
It's good. Check it out, everybody.
It is good, yeah. To be fair, of the, I think the 19 movies that I had, I have like 4 stars and above, and this is one of them.
But, Nick, what do you have for 11?
I put Missing Link on there.
Eric, what do you have for 11?
I stuck for Eddie the Eagle.
JPO,
Les Miserables.
sticking with Real Steel.
Okay.
Eddie the Eagle.
Ooh,
Ah, damn.
top 6.
Damn. Okay. I was gonna put it at top 3, but either way, it's not my list.
So earnest. Makes you feel good in the top.
But Eric, what do you have for number 10?
I'll say it. Missing Link.
JPO,
Les Miserables.
Real Steel. Jacob,
Missing Link.
Nick,
Yeah, I put Missing Link on there.
You found it.
JPO, what do you have for 9?
Les Miserables.
Real Steel. Jacob,
Les Mis.
Nick,
I said Real Steel.
Oh,
Eric.
nah, it said Rise of the Guardians.
So we've got a tie between Real Steel and Missing Link. Eric, you're the only one that didn't go for either of those. Missing Real Steel or Les Mis at number 9.
I'll say Real Steel. Sorry, guys.
Oh. You're not sorry.
I'm not.
If you were sorry, you wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
The notable prick is struck again.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was in my bottom half. I'm not that upset about it. I just feel bad that JPO doesn't get to change his board yet.
Sure. I think he's got some writing.
Yeah. It's why I stick with the same thing at times. But I'm probably sticking with this for a while. The Prestige. Jacob.
I'll stick with Les Mis. Hold on. There it is.
Nick.
I said Rise of the Guardians.
Eric.
I also said Rise of the Guardians.
JPO.
Again.
Les Mis.
And I was the only one that didn't go for something different this time, and it's between Les Mis and Rise of the Guardians. 2 of you are going to have to change your board. And at number 8 is going to be Les Mis.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Good. I didn't want to write again.
I was overconfident.
I got it.
Jacob, what do you have for 7?
Rise of the Guardians.
Nick, what do you have at 7?
Hey, Rise of the Guardians.
Eric, what do you have for 7?
Rise of the Guardians.
And JPO.
Almost a clean sweep. Rise of the Guardian.
The Prestige, but Rise of the Guardians is going to be at 7. All right, moving on to 6. Nick, what do you have for number 6?
Prisoners.
Ooh.
Eric, what do you have for 6?
So The Greatest Showman.
JPO, what do you have for 6?
The Greatest Showman.
The Prestige. Jacob.
I have X2.
Ooh.
Nick, did I go to you yet?
Oh yeah, you just went to me.
No,
It's
it's
the
all right,
Prisoners.
just checking. So it's going to be The Greatest Showman.
I can't be mad at that. It was like a 6 or 5 on my list.
It was my number 4.
Eric, what do you have for 5?
You got X2.
JPO.
X7, Days of Future Past.
The Prestige. Jacob.
Sticking with X2.
And Nick.
I said Prisoners.
But X2 is going to be at 5. We've got 4 movies left. That's Prisoners, Logan, The Prestige, and Days of Future Past. JPO, what do you have for 4?
Yeah, don't vote for it, Nick, because like let's get some other the next one in the top 3. Days of Future Past.
The Prestige.
No.
I have X7, Days of Future Past.
I said
Yeah.
Prisoners.
Eric.
And I got X-Men Duff Poop.
Duff Poop.
So what's left? We're in the top 3.
Prisoners,
Yeah.
Prestige, and Logan.
Yeah,
Okay.
Good top
so this is pretty easy.
Great top 3.
Jacob, what do you have for number 3?
Yeah, I went with The Prestige.
Nick.
Prisoners.
Eric.
I also said Le Prestige.
JPO.
I was at Prisoners.
Ooh,
I see The Prestige.
Ah,
damn.
loud.
Prestige is going to be
No.
3.
Number 1, right?
Yep,
So,
we're
yeah, we
just
vote for
voting
number
for number 1. So it's between Logan and Prisoners.
Where is this gonna go? I have a feeling that the people that just voted for Prisoners aren't voting for Prisoners again, though. Call me crazy.
Patrick Swayze.
Nick, what do you have for number 1?
Logan.
Eric.
I also said Logan.
JPO.
Logan with applause. Woo.
Looks like candles.
Oh, right, that's Logan.
I said Prisoners.
Hmm.
But
To be fair,
that,
though, they're both 5-star movies for me.
I'll be sure to check it out when I can.
but with that, that is the end of ranking for this week. And just to recap, here is our top 12 Hugh Jackman movies. At number 12, we've got Bad Education. At 11, we got Eddie the Eagle. At 10, we got Missing Link. At 9, we got Real Steel. At 8, we got Les Mis. At 7, we got Was the Guardians. At 6, we got The Greatest Showman. At 5, we got X2, X-Men United. At 4, we got X-Men Days of Future Past. At 3, we got The Prestige. At 2, we got Prisoners. And number 1 is Logan. But next week on Rankin, it's going to be we're going to be doing the direct. We're going to be ranking all the movies of M. Night Shyamalan. I'm doing what I like to do sometimes with these directors that have a really somewhat smallish filmography. Like M. Night's only got about 50. I think it's Trapped is his 15th movie. So it's like if we to do a ranking like this is like as soon as 3 get knocked off, is like, well, might as well just rank the rest of these movies. So it's like, you know what, I'm just going to do like what I do like with franchise, and then just do a director's filmography thing. So we're doing M. Night Shyamalan next week. And Jacob, where can people find you online?
I'm not doing much online. I pop up here from time to time, and then I believe I am joining you tomorrow as we talk SummerSlam 2002.
Yep.
Ooh, fun.
But Nick, where can people find you online?
You can find me anywhere in the movie space. Just as long as I'm invited, I will show up. So yeah.
Eric, where can people find you online?
You can find me in an hour or so at Henry's channel at Hot Henry Action. CWTM having this week finally the championship match, 3 levels of iron, Bible of horror,
Finally.
multiplex, all that. Finally, yeah, and all that.
JPO, where can people find you online?
Yeah, popping up in here from time to time with the Lonely Marks and Lonely Marks channel. Me, Jacob, Richie, and Pat talk some wrestling every Thursday at SummerSlam week. So we'll be talking some SummerSlam over my channels, the Pierce Go, movie trivia, top 10, stuff like that, and then Pierce Wrestling. We just turned out the tag team tournament bracket this year, where the winners will face Eric and Jacob whenever they're free because they're busy.
Not me.
Try that, Jacob. Jacob Cameron. I tried asking Jacob, but Jacob said, I don't want to play in your league.
But you can
say what I said.
Yeah, you can find me on Tape Productions as host Rankin every week. Next week we're doing the director's filmography of M. Night Shyamalan. And you can find me on my show Spear from the Past as we talk about a random pay-per-view each week. This week, and I didn't rig it, but the real legitimately spun a SummerSlam. So we're doing SummerSlam 2002. And Jacob's going to be there. JB has been on an episode earlier. We did the first WrestleMania, and maybe someday I'll get Eric on for something. And yeah, and you can find me popping up from time to time. And yeah, but there's the end of ranking for this week. We'll see you next week. And I'm just going to go for this.
Close up shop. Close up shop. Close up shop.